truly amazing how things from your past seem to be more relevant and those pieces kind of fit together so much better now than they did back then. Welcome back to the Brood for Life podcast. And I just want to talk about something that is just absolutely wild. And that is like when I was growing up and in my early 20s to mid 20s, spent a lot of time hanging out with friends, partying, and doing a whole bunch of other things. The one thing that we always did is we always listened to Bob Marley. Now, I've already seen the One Love documentary. I've seen just about every documentary on the man's life. The incredible thing is that everybody just thinks it's just reggae, but there's so much more to all of that than just the music. There was all kinds of political unsettledness, and just Jamaica at the time was just a bad place to be. When you listen to his music, there's so much in it that it easily connects to what the hell is going on in our country now. And if you haven't listened to Bob Marley's music, or if you listen to it just because it's very relaxing, it makes you think of vacations in the Caribbean and all that stuff, that's fine. But take some time and pull up the words to those songs and read them verbatim while you listen to the music, because you will have a completely different point of view about the music and about the message that came out with it. The man was something that the world needed at that time, and we don't have that right now. We just don't. We don't have anybody that speaks to both sides and says, enough of this nonsense. Why don't we just come together and find a way to work together as a whole? We don't have enough of that stuff right now. The only thing we have right now is everybody has taken a stance, everybody has picked a side, and everybody stands firm on their side. And nobody takes the time to figure out how can we meet in the middle and how can we get everybody's point of view addressed? And how do we stop all of this? The violence, the rioting, the he said this, he said that, the back and forth, the FU, and it's just, it is so unbelievable. It makes me think that after all the years that this country has gone through a bunch of unsettling stuff, right? Slavery, the race riots, all of that kind of stuff, where there was two opposing views and it caused civil war, it caused violent protests. Why do we want to relive that? What haven't we learned from all of that time that we continue to choose to be on the same damn path and fight each other and argue with each other and demean each other and do all of these things? Why don't we use that energy to try to find a common ground and just say, this is where we're both coming from. How do we agree on these terms? Why can't we get there? It's very frustrating because I spent a lot of my time, a lot of my life, really just kind of doing the similar things and standing my ground on this, that, and whatever else, and refusing to see somebody else's point of view. And I've been there too. The sad part is that I've learned a lot from that point of view, and I've learned a lot that I'm not always right, and I've learned a lot that sometimes you just need to listen and not fucking speak. And there's not enough of that. There's a lot of over talking, there's a lot of forceful of opinions, and it's fucking nauseating and sickening that as a society, we demand respect and demand to be heard, and we demand that we're allowed to speak. But we don't give the same fucking generosity and the same respect back to somebody else who's asking for the same shit. Why can't we fucking get there? It's very humbling to sit there and listen to a bunch of Bob's songs, and it so much directly relates to where we're at now. And it's sad because his music came out in the 70s and the 80s, and here we are 40 fucking years later, and the message that he was sharing then is still 100% relevant right now. Why is it that we can't do these things? Why have we allowed ourselves to be so fucking divided and so firm in our stand that we don't even know how to communicate? We don't know how to have a conversation. We don't know how to do any of that stuff. How did we get to this point? Was it money? Was it power? Was it that little thing that we learned in school about propaganda? Did we forget what all of that stuff is? Because somehow, as a society, we got lost. And we got to a point where we don't even communicate with our fucking neighbors and everybody else. And I know I've been down this fucking path before, but it's sad. Sad that our families, our society, our neighbors have got so divided that we only care about the people that are like-minded and don't care about the people that disagree with us, because we can't find any kind of common ground with those people. We just know that they feel one way about something or somebody, and we segregate the fucking shit out of them. We segregate the shit out of them. A word that we should never have to fucking use again. But that's exactly what we do, right? What is the old saying about being divided we fall, but together we can win and we can prosper? So we stay divided? How does that make any sense? Where do people lose their fucking minds about shit where everybody just can't fucking sit down and have a conversation about stuff? Nobody's saying that your opinion is right or wrong, but to just have a conversation about something where those people don't get fucking defensive and don't try to cut each other off and can just sit and listen and hear what's being said and then respond accordingly with their information. And somewhere in the middle, there's going to be some kind of a truth. It's saddening that we can't even find a fucking common ground on normal shit anymore. It's sad. I'm raising a 3-year-old in a country that is no fucking better now than it was during the race riots in the 60s or during the Civil War times where people were arguing about slavery. Is it the same topic? No, but the world, not even the world, the country is equally divided. That's a place I want to raise a kid where you want to teach him to think and believe, and you want to teach him to listen to all the information and come up with his own point of view and decide how he feels about something, because you can't teach him one side because that doesn't help the problem. And it's funny because in college, it's a place where you're supposed to be able to be a free thinker. The colleges are very, very fucking divided. Some only teach from one point of view and some only teach from another point of view. And if you speak out against that, your grade could significantly suffer because of it. What the fuck happened? Why is it that people can't just agree to disagree and you understand that their point of view is not always right? That somebody else's point of view might be right, but that would mean you would have to listen to it long enough to understand. It's fucking incredible to me. Outside of that, it makes me also think about the state that my family has been through at different times. And my mom always feels like she's the middle person on this, but she's really not the middle person. My sister and I have always had kind of a up and down relationship, and it's never been great at any given moment. It's either been okay or bad. It's just the way it's been. And a lot of it has to do with not being able to be honest with those around them and always having some kind of an agenda as to why things are the way they are. And things are the way they are based on the only thing that is common in all those situations, that one person. In this situation, that person happens to be my sister. So she has the ability to do a lot of things well. Problem is that she doesn't always know how to do them well for an extended period of time. What has led to this is my sister went through some shit in the last 4 weeks where she got herself in trouble. And during this time, she swears that she had done something, but with all the pieces put together and all the cards laid out in front of you, what she tells you does not line up with the evidence. That's what we'll call all those pieces, the evidence. What had happened is she got pulled over on the way here, the way to visit my wife and I, and she got pulled over because she didn't have insurance on her car. So they towed her car and whatever else. She has to pay all these fines with the DMV. She has to go to court now and all this other nonsense. And she did some looking, and the DMV sent her a letter back in February. So now she got the letter in February. She got pulled over in December. The entire time she swears she's been paying her insurance, but those of us that know anything about your financials or pay attention to any of your financials, you know that your insurance tends to be the same fucking amount every single month and gets pulled out of your checking account on the same day or around the same day based on weekends and holidays every fucking month. So I'm not sure how you think you're paying your car insurance, but not realizing that it's getting pulled out of your bank account. That's one. Two, if the DMV sent you a letter in February, that probably means that there was no insurance since at least November. Problem number two. How do you find a way to lie and manipulate your way out of this? Now, you could say what you want and say that I am harsh or whatever, but during this time, she drove my little one. So now that means she drove from my house a half hour away and back in an unregistered car with a suspended registration during the time that all this was, during the time she was driving before she got caught. And I'm the bad guy because I'm upset with my sister. Now, not just that has happened in the last 4 weeks. I also found out that in some of the issues that my sister has had growing up, she was in a relationship with an individual. She had some substance abuse problems during that time, and she was associated with some bad people. And when we would see her, we could tell that there was something going on because there was physical symptoms. She was always tired. We barely saw her. She was kind of disconnected. And that wasn't like how she had always been with my parents. So comes to find out that she's having a substance abuse problem. And the guy that she is dating is also physically abusive to her. So at the time, I backed up my dog, which was my Roddy, and I grabbed a baseball bat and I drove down to where she was and got her out of where she was. She cleaned her life up, all this other stuff, and got her life back on track. And I find out that this individual was at my mom's house to fix their garage door. And through this interaction, my sister shares with my mom that her and this individual have stayed in touch for a long period of time. And my mom wonders why I'm upset. And I reminded her that these are the things that happened in the past. And you compound that with what just fucking happened. And we think that I'm being a little judgmental, that why can't you guys just get along? You're just two different people. Or not just two different people. I am a person who just says, do what you say. If you say you're going to get your fucking life together, then get your shit together. Your family has been there to support you through multiple fucking bullshit stuff. And all we've asked is that you fucking put the left foot in front of the right and make better decisions. But here we are again with another bad decision compounded right afterwards by another bad decision. Or another bad decision coming to light. How am I the bad guy? Because I choose to not want to have my family surrounded by that bullshit? Because I choose to not want to have my son put at risk anymore? That makes me a bad person? If anything, it makes me a good fucking parent. I don't even know, like, there's been times throughout this stuff when it comes to my sister, when she was going through this bullshit and my oldest was young, and I had asked multiple times to not have him be around Amy because of the situation she's in. I don't want my son exposed to that. But my boundaries and my guidelines were not respected. And again, we wondered why I lost my shit. It's not about harboring and holding on to the negative things that have happened in the past. People can move on. And I have tried to move on. The issue comes when the bad shit continues to happen repetitively throughout your fucking life, where now you leave people to decide, is this worth it? Should I put my family through this? Do my kids need to go through this bullshit that I had to go through? And the answer is no. So it's not about not wanting to have a relationship with my sister. It's not about wanting to make my mom feel bad or sad that her and I don't get along. It's, I can't fucking deal with the bullshit all the fucking time. You can't ask people to fucking deal with this shit. If you choose to live your life like that, that's fine. Live your life, live it however you want to make your own decisions. But don't ask me to be fucking accepting of it. Because I don't want to be and I don't have to be. That's not how I choose to live my life. That's not the environment I want my boys around. That's called being a good protective parent. You don't allow the negative things to impact your family. You don't allow your kids to be subjected to that. Things got to change. You can't just keep fucking around and think that there's no reasonable reason for somebody to say, I've had enough, I'm fucking out. Take some self accountability. Be honest with yourself that you fucked up, you continue to fuck up, and you need to make better decisions. But we can't do that because we can't look in the mirror and we can't look at ourselves and say, I need to be better. My daughter deserves to see a better representation of what being an adult is about. My mom needs to have the better part of me for her to be successful. I love my family so much that I'm willing to make a fucking change. What is it going to take to get there? Is it going to take losing it all? What is it going to take? People, like, everybody's got an individual like this in their family, and how many of them have segregated that person out of their lives? How many of them choose that when they have to be around that person, that they do it for the smallest amount of time increments as possible? Most people. And the people that feel like it's their fault that that individual is that way are the ones that continue to cling to them. But at this point in life, it's not my mom's fault. Could better if decisions have been made and allowed my sister to literally hit rock bottom and fail at different points in her life? Yes. But now my sister's going to be 50 years old. And my mom carries more fucking stress now than she did when my dad was sick. So now does it not only piss me off that she put my little one in a bad position, that she puts my mom in a bad position by being friends with fucking scumbags, now she is putting more stress and anguish on my mom. My mom who needs her to help pay bills. I'm sorry that I'm the one of person that's not afraid of what needs to be said and is not fucking afraid to say it. And I'm sorry that it puts me in a position where I always look like the fucking bad guy from opening my mouth. But at this point, needs to fucking be said. So there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hit me up on all the platforms, Instagram, the Brute for Life podcast, Baines Brewing, Dad Son Community. Check out the videos that are going up on TikTok and YouTube. Let me know what you guys think about this. Shoot me a DM, message me on Spotify, whatever it is. Let me know what you guys think. Am I in the wrong on this? Because I don't think I am. And that's not an arrogance. That's just me being real. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you real soon.